Hello, welcome to all you Scorpios. Welcome for your monthly horoscope forecast for Scorpio for November 2014. And what is happening? And what is happening in general for Scorpio? Big time for you again. Why? Because, first of all, I'm going to talk about the stallion in your sign. And secondly, I'm going to talk about, for the last time, I promise, I hope, about Saturn, which is so emphasized during the month of November because so many faster planets like Venus, Mercury, the Sun, these are faster planets, they are triggering Saturn. And then what is going on with Mars? I'm going to explore a little bit on that as well. But first of all, we know that Saturn has been going through your sign for like 2 years now, and it's on its last piece that it goes through the sign of Scorpio. Also next year it will go retrograde and do the last degrees of Scorpio, but that will only be for just a tiny little percentage of Scorpios who have planets at the very end of Scorpio. But so a lot of you, and I've certainly seen a lot of clients having a Scorpio through your sign and having planets there, a lot of you have changed. A lot of you have become more real, which is Saturn, of course. It makes you you're already a sign that is really, really real. And that's not about being a hypocrite. You're already such a real sign, but Saturn emphasizes that and can also isolate you, because I've seen that people with their sun sign, an ascendant, or whatever other planet it touches Saturn, it makes it very, very isolated. And because it's in Scorpio, and Scorpio goes so deep, so the isolation is felt on a very deep level. But it means that it also has to be that way in order for the Scorpios to encounter themselves, and those, because the Saturn is about protecting, it's about fear, in a good way. It's protecting, it's about boundaries, it's about slowing down. So a lot of you Scorpios have been doing that for quite a while, have been more disciplined, more disciplined with their boundary setting, with their protecting themselves more. Don't forget that Scorpio is also a water sign, so it can be sometimes too deep, and so it's the commitment towards yourself that you've been doing for such a long time. And of course, when we're very honest, which is what is happening with Saturn in Scorpio, there are some situations, people that need to go in your life, and that are not bad for you, but that are not longer suiting your kind of personality. And that could make someone feeling a bit more alone, you could say. But the strength in that is that you've become another person, you have redefined yourself, you become a way stronger person, and I think Scorpio is already one of the toughest signs that there is. So it gives you more power, and off you go, because sometimes we have to redefine our boundaries, and especially also for Scorpios risings, because it's the axis of the first house versus the seventh house, which is the other person that is important in your life. Saturn is with you, so it means that you were putting more boundaries with other people, and it means that it needs to be that way. It's not always pleasant, but it needs to be that way. You need to be in that protective state a bit more than usual. But good news, that's not gonna last forever. Actually already at the 2 last weeks of November, there is a shift of this stellium, which is 3 or 4 planets or more planets in the same sign, which is in Scorpio in the beginning of the month. And they're going towards your second house in Sagittarius, which is way lighter, way more uplifting, not so deep, but actually very expansive. It's the opposite, in fact, of Scorpio. Sagittarius is going very expansive. Scorpio is narrowing, focusing, and going into the depths. And that can be a bit freaky at times. But you're not in that place, in that state forever. So you're out of that state. You did the hard work. You did the re-establishing. You probably, for some of you, had new relationships, new work, your destiny, the way that, especially that Saturn is on your ascendant, you go a different way, you go a more a real way, more down to earth, more in the body. And with more in the body, I mean the body has a mind as well. Because we really forget these days that the body has its intelligence as well. If we feel in a certain state, that says something to us. And if we're not only in the head, we can be spiritual and we can be enlightened or whatever, or try to be enlightened, but hey, we've got a body and we have to respect that. We have to listen to it every now and then, according to the situation. This is really important for the Scorpio because they have Saturn in their sign, so they have to put those boundaries. They have to put those boundaries with themselves. It's not about putting boundaries with other people or a situation. It's with themselves. It's I gave the example the other day of a client I had, a woman, a young woman, I think 22 or something, and she had just had Saturn on the ascendant, and she was single, and she was there were three men in her life, 3 men, can you imagine? And that for a Scorpio, and she said, I can't put boundaries, it's so difficult for me, I can't choose, and I say to myself, I want to be a long-term relationship, I want to commit myself in a relationship, which is this Saturn, but if I want to do that, I can't kiss all 3 of them, can I? That is a kind, I know it's a simplistic example, maybe, but it's never simplistic, you know, it's always someone's path, and I'm sure that there are people out there who are 60 and still having that experience, you never know. But it's about putting those restrictions towards yourself and benefiting from it. It means that it is needed during this period, putting the restrictions and then benefiting from it because you commit to yourself. This is so strong if you can do that, you know, and every sign is tempted to that, to sometimes commit to other people but not to themselves, which is always a weak position. So that's why it strengthens your position as a Scorpio. So I think certainly the people that I've seen that they already had the transits of Saturn in their signs of Scorpio, they become totally different, more real, more strong. It has been tough, has been hard, but the reward is in the same amount as the hard work was. So that's for the Scorpios. And next month, Saturn is in another sign. It's for the Sagittarians then. You did your work and you will get your rewards. Be sure of it. Then another thing is happening. So you will also have a full moon in your opposite sign of Taurus on the 6th of November. So when it comes to relationships, things can come to a head then, or to consciousness around that time, especially people who have planets around 14 degrees of Scorpio. But that's just a tiny little detail there. Another thing I wanted to say is your classical ruler, your traditional ruler is Mars. And Mars is going to into Capricorn, which is an earth sign. Earth and water goes very well. And that will be good for you. And the thing is that this Mars is in your 3rd house. Am I right? Yes, the 3rd house. And Pluto is there. So Mars, your ruler, will be touching Pluto. If you want to know the dates, I'm going to give you the date. It will be around the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th of November. So that's a period of time when you will feel intensity, transformational energy when it comes to your expression, when it comes to how you express yourself. That's very in general the third house. So you will become more powerful in your expression. You will become more, just be aware that you are not becoming too focused and attached of, you know, being the wiseacre, because that's also Mars Pluto in the third. But it's, as it is only a few days, it's probably going to be having that awareness that you are going to speak up for yourself, definitely, with Mars there in your third house. But the trick is to not detach yourself too much with your own ideas. That's, I think, is the most important. But there is opportunity for you to work hard on your communication, to spread your message there, to become very active in, it could be a busy month as well, with talking, emails, short trips, going places, and it's probably going to be hard work there, but very, you know, you're gonna like it, because Mars in Capricorn is a good position. That's your ruler in exaltation, so that is very good for Scorpios. So do a lot of talking, do a lot of communication, but be aware that other people have their opinion as well, so that you're not going to ego conflicts, because that's Mars Pluto as well. As I said, keep in mind those couple of days and you'll be fine. So wishing you a good month, you Scorpios. You have Venus in your sign as well, so use that lovely scorpionic charm that you have, which is very deep and very intriguing for other people, with Venus in your sign up until the middle of the month. So you're going to be a bit Venusian as well, believe it or not. You're going to attract people as well, and other people finding you very nice and kind. Venus is the planet of kindness, not niceness, but kindness. So have a good month. Enjoy the month, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.